Welcome to the installation of the Tandem Pantry by Kesselboomer, a pantry system that brings all of the contents of your cabinet within reach. This pantry is available in 2 heights and 3 widths and can be used as a single or double door pantry. This video is for demonstration purposes only. Please refer to the mounting instructions for the actual installation. Today we'll install the short version with a frame height of 46 inches and an opening width requirement of 15 inches and an interior cabinet width of 16.5 inches minimum. This unit has 4 shelves, each on the door and inside the pantry. The taller version has a frame height of 67 inches with 6 shelves. It's important to leave at least 12 to 15 inches in height above the frame for ample storage on the top shelf. The tools you will need to install this pantry are a tape measure, pencil, T-square, awl, a Phillips head screwdriver, 5mm hex wrench, a level, and a 9/16 inch hand wrench along with a power drill. You will also need 14 panhead screws and 4 countersunk screws for this installation. We'll start with the template provided with the unit and cut it according to the size we're using. Here you can see the different positioning required for a framed versus a frameless cabinet. The template is taped down to the cabinet floor up against the wall on the door hinge side. Using your awl, mark the holes and pre-drill for your mounting screws. Now you're ready to mount the bottom runner using those pre-drilled holes and countersunk screws. This unit is not handed, but comes ready to install in a cabinet with a right-hand door swing. Today, we're installing it in a left-handed cabinet, so we'll make some changes to the frame hardware. We'll take both the interior frame and the door frame pins and, using the wrench, unscrew the pins at the bottom of the frame and flip their position. Next, we'll install the pivot block in the corner of the floor of the cabinet. This will hold our door frame and support any weight that is on the door baskets. This way, the hinges will not have to support the weight on the door frame. Using panhead screws and your drill, mount this pivot block into the corner. Now, we'll install a similar pivot block for the top of the frame. To determine the position, set the door frame down into the lower block and mark where the top block needs to go. Using your drill, mount the top pivot block into place. Once the door frame is mounted, we need to install the door channels to stabilize them and keep them snug against the door. These channels are just guides for the door frame. Following the measurements in the instructions, simply hold them under the pins resting against the door and mark your holes where the channels will go. Using panhead screws, mount the channels to the door. Keep in mind, if you're mounting these to a 5-piece door with a thin center panel, it may be a good idea to mount a backer board to this door prior to installation. Next, we'll install the top channel that holds the interior frame. Since we're installing into a frameless cabinet, we'll need to remove this fork-shaped piece first. You'll want to make sure to follow the instructions for the type of cabinet you're working with. To install this top channel on the wall of the cabinet, we have to measure up from the floor and make a mark at the front and rear of the side wall at 40 7/8 inches. This will be the bottom of your L brackets. Mark your screw holes and, using panhead screws, mount the L brackets and channel to the wall. Now it's time to install the rear frame into the bottom runner. Set the frame onto the runner trolley and secure it with the bolts provided. Tighten with your hex wrench. Install the frame onto the runner by first placing the bushing into the wall channel, then sliding the trolley into the runner. This will allow the frame to move smoothly and keep it stable within the cabinet. Once the frame is installed, we'll need to attach the rear frame to the door frame using the pivot arms. First, we'll snap in the top pivot arm on the bar in the middle of the rear frame to the door frame. Then snap in the bottom pivot guide onto the runner and the door frame. You will hear a click when they're in the correct position. To finish the Tandem Pantry installation, you'll install 4 large shelves into the cabinet on the hooks on the rear frame. These shelves are height adjustable by just moving them to a different hook. Finally, the smaller door frame shelves can be mounted onto the door frame hooks. To make sure that your Tandem Pantry is properly installed, cycle the door open and close twice. To recap, cut your floor template. Mark the holes and mount the bottom runner. Install the corner pivot block. Install the door frame and top pivot block. Install the door channels. Mount the rear frame channel. Attach the frame to the trolley. Slide the frame and the trolley into the runner. Install the pivot arms. Install the trays. Congratulations! You've completed the installation of the Tandem Pantry by Kesselboomer. If you followed the instructions closely, you should find a smooth movement along with a dampened closure. Keep in mind that it's just as easy to install this into a double door pantry cabinet by ordering 2 complete units and installing one on either side. Thank you for choosing Kesselboomer. Go to cleverstorage.com for more product information, photos, and videos.